Anime is cringe. This is something people who do and people who don't watch it can agree on. The medium of animation originating from Japan, known as anime, has garnered quite the reputation for itself over time. Why? Well, put it this way. Unlike other mediums, if you're not into it, you're not into it. And it's because a lot of anime relies on tropes and designs that are used extensively. Big eyes, explosive hairstyles, girls that fans refer to as waifus. A lot of them also just have this weird compulsion to add things to their stories, like the authors cannot help themselves from making the main character's sister be way too into them.
Hey, stop! Why? I just don't get it. I always catch you fuckers watching this sick shit. This is sickening!
Or the character gets a harem by doing basically nothing, or the character's just overpowered for no real reason. This one is about a guy who gets magic powers from breast milk. So either you are someone who's into all that, bounce off of it entirely, or somehow you manage to ignore all the weird stuff and just enjoy the series for their good points, usually story or action. The truth is, anime is a super diverse medium, just like any other. Of course it's going to have the stinkers, like a lot of them. But it also has shows that are compelling. No matter who you are, you will find something you enjoy in this genre if you're willing to ignore the other stuff that sometimes manages to sneak into the good shows too. But what if you just can't ignore all that? What if to you, anime is just this garbage that complete weirdos are into? My friend, you are who I am making this video for. Let's talk about Attack on Titan. I'm sure you've heard of it before, but Attack on Titan is the most popular anime in the world. The basic summary is as such. You exist. A shame, I know. Then, one day, the Titans exist. Humanity is almost wiped out by the Titans, and the remaining survivors wall themselves away in 3 massive rings. The walls manage to keep the Titans out for a century, but having to watch his home destroyed and townspeople devoured, our protagonist, Eren Yeager, swears he will one day destroy the Titans. That's the basic summary. Interesting, right? Yeah, but why should you watch it? Following the destruction of the first wall, Eren and his friends, Mikasa and Armin, enlist in the Cadet Corps. From here, you follow their journey as they learn the skills needed to take on the Titans and reclaim their homelands. The story has really good pacing in the sense that it sets up the characters well without dwelling too long on any one event. You're thrown into the action again soon enough when the cadets are forced to face the Titans once more when certain plot points happen. I'm not going to spoil them, because I want you to see it all for yourself, and just know that the story is violent, tragic, cathartic, poignant, and most importantly, it develops over time. Things that happen early in the story at first might seem like nothing special, turn out to be big deals in the future episodes. Like watching a seed finally become this massive tree. Attack on Titan isn't a one-season wonder either. Once you start watching, you're strapping in for a wild ride. The show focuses on 3 main characters, Eren, Mikasa, and Armin, but it also incorporates a cast of supporting characters, and it's the interactions between them that makes the show so good. People don't share Eren's sentiment for hell-bent revenge. Some just want to go join the military police and live in the safety of the central wall. People will butt heads, argue, but they're forced to work together, so you get to see this camaraderie that develops between them. The characters feel real. Sure, Potato Girl is a thing, but she's also one of the best characters, and no, I'm not kidding. The bonds that the cast share feel meaningful because of all the shit they have to go through. Whether you like someone or not, if working with them is all that stands between life and death, it makes sense that they're going to have to learn to work together. And it's not just the cadets either. The adults in the series are also a huge part of its success. In the moment, what kind of person would have themselves under control at the sight of the Titans? The people that the characters are supposed to look up to are revealed to be flawed, scared, and at times corrupt, using their positions of power to keep themselves away from any of the threats, forcing other people to do the things they themselves wouldn't. But there are also those that are noble and truly believe in the fight for humanity. It's this dichotomy between all of the characters that makes the show so worthwhile, and also so fucking tragic. when you have to watch them face the Titans. Over the course of time, many fictional characters have been used as the enemy in the stories we make. Zombies, vampires, the Russians, you name it. While these were all okay, they don't really stay in the mind long after you've finished watching them, but there's something genuinely terrifying about the Titans. I think we as humans will never have to know the fear of not being at the top of the food chain. We're just too smart and too powerful. So when there's something that's above us in this hierarchy, we as an audience have to feel that sense of fear when we think of them. It has to scare us for it to be believable. Ranging anywhere from 3 to 15 meters tall. Able to regenerate any non-lethal damage, disinterested in any fauna, they have but one purpose to their existence: to devour humans. The Titans are scary in a way that to me, very few things are. So it's no fucking wonder that the people in this universe feel exactly the same way about them. When the soldiers are forced to face the Titans, they're amped up. This is what they've been training for. This is their moment. But then they have to face reality. These are monsters. From a distance, they appear similar to people. The way some of them smile, the way they walk or run. But there's always something so off about them. So when you take the cast that you grow to care about and put them against the monsters that want to eat them, you get tension, despair, and butt clenching like you'd never get from anything else. But you also get to feel relieved when they make it through, when they survive. You feel the success that they feel. The Titans are this insurmountable obstacle that stands in the way of humanity and its freedom. The reason that people have to live within the walls. Long story short, they're one of the best monsters I've seen, and reason alone to watch this series. But how do you even beat the Titans? Measuring at 1 meter and 10 centimeters, the nape of a Titan's neck is its only vulnerability. If one can destroy this area of the Titan, it will kill it instantly, and the Titan's corpse will begin to evaporate. In order to do this, the people of this world have come up with a simple solution. Fire zipline anchors into their surroundings to propel themselves through the air and slice through the Titans with 2 disposable swords. And it's as good as it sounds. The action in Attack on Titan is some of the most unique, original kind I have ever seen in any series. The kind that was literally designed just for this series, and it works way too well. It's easy to follow from an audience perspective because you know what both sides are trying to do, and it's visually pleasing. If you've ever wondered why this guy is so popular, watch the series and you'll find out for yourself. But the Titans are simply too powerful to beat with brute force in most situations, so the characters actually have to plan things out in ways that make sense. An example of this is how the scouts make a strategy to act as a human radar, shooting different colored flares from their spread out positions to indicate the location of Titans in order to avoid them as a unit. Things like this add depth to the series in a way that's so satisfying to see unfold. And that's the thing, right? It's a series designed to be satisfying to watch in general. It's an anime, and yet it doesn't have a lot of the other add-ons that other ones do. There's no yelling after every strike, or characters getting new powers out of nowhere in the middle of a fight. They have to learn their skills beforehand. Some of the combat used is just straight up Muay Thai. It's sharp and to the point, but hey, you don't just have to take it from me.
If anyone double legs you, that's a natural defense. When someone grabs into your legs, their head is going to be exposed. So I think what Aaron did right away, he just locked in the guillotine and locked the arms in, and you notice he locked his leg. So now it's even harder for this guy to get out. I mean, this is just perfect. This blows me away. This is 10 out of 10. I need to watch this.
And it all gets pieced together perfectly with the finishing touches. Finishing off with a couple more points. The art style. Anime tends to have this really generic style where a lot of them look the same. So when a series manages to pull off a unique style and have it look good, or at the very least, interesting, that's a big accomplishment. Of course, Attack on Titan isn't an original series. It's based off the manga. But look at this. The art of the manga is kind of ugly, like you. So to be able to make it look both authentic and improve on it, nice job team, proud of you. The art style is vibrant, the environments look good, and the characters look like actual individuals that can be recognized just from the variance in their eyes. The soundtrack. Music is a big part of the series as well, and while it would have been fine if they had some generic soundtracks, their playlist is nothing but bangers, with tracks that perfectly complement the scenes they play. Every track is able to control the way you feel, whether that's uncomfortable, sad, relaxed, or victorious. The show also has some of the best opening themes you will ever hear. The music isn't going to let you down. Everything about this show oozes quality, and as much as I'd like to talk about the show for 20 more minutes, it's honestly better viewing the less you know about it. And honestly, it shows. Number 1 in popularity, Attack on Titan managed to break into the mainstream like no other anime did. People who never watch anime watched Attack on Titan. It was the Game of Thrones of anime, without the terrible ending. The premise is interesting, the characters are likable, and the Titans are scary as fuck. And when the show wants to be funny, it is. Saying that a Titan's only other weakness is to shove a blade up its ass? That's my kind of humor. The show has mysteries, questions it makes you ask, like, what is in the basement of Eren's house? It's an underground midget wrestling ring. Yeah, I thought I'd just spoil that one for you. But the big one is, like I said in the beginning, it doesn't compromise this with any big cringy elements like a lot of other ones tend to. It's just a bloody good show, and it's the perfect gateway for getting into other good ones if you happen to like it. But that's a story for another time. So for now, I leave you with this one message. If you only ever watch one anime your whole life, make it Attack on Titan.